UnBadding, we're UnBadding, baby. We're on a journey, baby. We're UnBadding, baby. We're UnBadding.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of UnBadding. I'm Jessica Presley.
And I'm Dayna Pereira.
Oh, Dayna Pereira.
Yes.
I didn't know I'd be with you today.
See, I can only do the accent on that part because otherwise I sound like a dumbass because I don't know accents.
I kind of wish we could just do a little bit of an accent because I want to see what happens with you.
No.
Oh, she's no fun, people.
I'm not. I really, really am. Like, okay, what do we do here? We do a, like, good day, sir.
What's that?
Probably, like, somewhere in Europe.
Like Australia?
Maybe.
G'day, mate. Can you say anything in like normal conversation?
Oh.
Could you be like, what did you do today, Jess?
What did you do today, Jess?
That's pretty good.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I think you're not giving yourself enough
The
enough
thing
credit.
is, though, I just never know what kind of an accent I'm doing. So
Well, yeah,
if somebody was like, be Irish,
that would be a really fun one to hear.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I don't know if I could do Irish either. That one seems hard.
Or like if somebody was like, do Australian. I have one accent and that is it. And it's probably offensive.
In some way, shape, or form, I probably made a boo-boo here.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
apologies in advance to anybody that sounds like I just tried to sound like. I'm doing it out of love and desire to be as classy as you.
Yeah, and sound is cool. Don't people just sound cooler when they have an accent? What about Southern? Could you do a Southern accent?
Good day, sir. No, I'm kidding.
Also, no.
No, I'm just like not good at accents.
Okay.
And
We're going to practice.
Yeah.
And then one day we're going to do a full episode in accent.
Oh my God, nobody's going to listen. It will be our least successful episode.
Nah, impossible. Well, I must admit, it feels really good to be back in the saddle. I feel like I've missed you guys for a few weeks.
We did like end up. No, so you had a sick child.
I did have a sick child. I totally missed out on Jen.
Yes. She was lovely.
She was awesome. Every time I was listening to the episode, it was kind of cool though, because I got to sit back as a listener because I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
And I totally understand what people say now when they're like, I'm just like, want to talk back with you. I want to insert my opinion into what's happening. And so many times I caught myself trying to like also talk. And I'm like, they can't hear me.
We cannot hear you. No.
It was
Already
a couple
did the
days
recording.
ago.
But then the week after,
Yeah.
we came in, we were getting all set to record,
Fully prepared.
fully prepared. And we both were just kind of like, shit sucks right now.
Yeah. I have been in a world funk.
Yeah. Well, the world is just terrible at this
Yeah.
moment in time.
Yeah.
And you guys all know that. I mean, you can't turn on the news or social media or anything without seeing that the world is just terrible right now.
Yeah.
So we kind of sat here and we were like, you know what? Fuck it this week. We're taking a mental health break. Again, it's 2 times in 1 month that we did that.
I know. It was a mental health break, but it was so needed. And we had puppy snuggles the whole time, which made it so much better. And we just let out all our woes and snuggled with Rocket, and it was lovely.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you got to take the break, man,
Yeah.
and allow yourself to have a break. And even people listening right now, take the damn break.
Definitely. I'm all about the break.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it feels good to be back, though,
Yeah.
but was happy for last week.
Yeah.
Was definitely happy for last week.
Well, I'm all ready to put my Christmas tree up on November 1.
That's like in 2 days.
I know.
All right. So you're just plowing right through November What's that holiday? Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Just plowing through it and going right to Christmas.
See, it's not that I'm going to plow through Thanksgiving. It's just that I need some extra happy.
Okay.
And for me, twinkly lights is happy. Like Christmas time always gives me like the good feels.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really love sitting in my living room with my Christmas tree up and seeing all of the lights and the decorations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you know what? I can eat a turkey and look at some lights.
Yeah. That's acceptable.
I actually kind of wish that I would have put it up on October 1.
That's excessive. You just change the lights from orange to white.
I have a tree that lets you change the lights. All you do
Ooh.
is just hit a fucking button.
Orange lights.
I
that
should have
makes
had a
sense.
Halloween tree.
You should have had a Halloween tree.
Missed opportunity, but I will keep that in mind for next year.
You're definitely going to have that for next year. You know, I have to say, though, when we pulled up to your house the other day,
Mm-hmm.
the kids were so impressed by all the Halloween decor. And I realized that I suck.
That is quite a realization.
Yeah, I totally suck because I hate the decorating. What's the word I'm looking for? Like the obligation.
Yeah.
The decorating obligation. One, I really am a minimalist at heart. And I only have a house packed full of shit because I have children.
Yeah.
Two, I'm the only one that puts it up or takes it down.
Mm-hmm.
And three, even when I do put it up, my children still think I did a shit job.
I don't even get me started on that. That's a whole other episode in itself, which is daughters hate their moms no matter what.
Your daughter does hate you no matter what right now. You cannot catch a break.
You can do no right. Absolutely no right. So here's what we do then. See, I come to your house and I decorate your outside.
Okay.
And then where I lack, you come in.
Okay. Yeah.
And do it for
like
me.
I could braid her hair.
Yes. Oh God, I'm just shit at braiding hair.
Yeah. Yeah. You just fucked up life as a mom because you cannot do a French braid.
Listen, I tried to brush her hair the other day because she wanted me to brush her hair.
Mm-hmm.
And like halfway through it, she's crying. And I was like, are you okay? Like, you have to tell me if it hurts.
Right.
I am not a goddamn mind reader.
No.
But she won't tell me.
Oh.
She never tells me.
Would you like hold the hair and brush the ponytail?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She should probably tell
I
you.
hold it and then I brush it down the back.
Yeah. Do you start at the bottom and work your way
Yes.
up? You're doing all the right things.
Well, if somebody could tell my daughter.
You know what's interesting though? As a hairstylist, and many of my kid clients, I don't have many, but the ones that I do have are like mostly curly kids.
Yeah.
And the tangles happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the moms are always lamenting about how the children just carry on about the detangling process. And then they get in my chair and I detangle their hair and they're like, oh no, it doesn't hurt. It's totally fine. It doesn't hurt at all. So it's just like the direct connection to the parent that makes it hurt so much more.
They're liars.
They're all liars. They're just trying to make you feel bad.
Fucking liars.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that does not hurt. But then I have trauma from it because mom used to brush the shit
She's
out of
still
my
mad.
head.
Do you hear how her tone changed?
Dude, I am mad about it because she used to call me a tenderhead.
Yeah. She's so tender-headed.
And she used that word with my daughter whenever she was here one time. And I was like, cringe.
You relived all of your childhood brushing moments.
My like third grade standing in the bathroom in front of the mirror crying as my mom called me a tenderhead.
That self just reappeared.
Like the ghost of Christmas past.
Well, maybe she's not the liar you're accusing her to be then.
Why is that?
Well, because yours obviously really, really hurt. So maybe hers really, really hurts when you brush hers.
No, I mean, she's crying. It hurts.
Is she just like silently sitting there with tears coming down her face?
Yes.
Well, she's going to need to learn to speak up a little.
That is like my one thing with her all the time. I'm like, you have to tell me. Like, you ask me to, You asked me to do it. I'm sitting here doing it. I don't know that I'm hurt. I think I'm doing a great job because you're not making a peep.
She loves it. She's loving
It
it.
feels so good. It's like a massage.
Aw. And she's just slowly wiping tears down her face.
the best massage ever.
I know. Poor kid.
It makes me feel awful.
Yeah. Yeah. You can do no right.
No, I can't. But you know what? We're all liars.
Aren't we? And that just brings us right to today's episode, doesn't it?
It does.
That we are all just a bunch of liars.
Liar, liar, pants on fire. You're a fucking liar.
Yeah, that's how it goes. So today we're talking about lying. We're talking about ways that we lie, why we lie, who lies, when we lie. What's the purpose of lying? And why do we all think it's so bad?
Well, what is a lie?
Okay, so by definition, a lie is an untrue statement with the intent to deceive.
Yes. Okay. So I get that. I think that you and I had both listened to the We Can Do Hard Things podcast where they had a topic on lying. And one of the things that they had said on there was awareness and intent. And that makes a lot of sense to me, that when you are lying, you have an awareness that you're doing it. And your intent is to deceive in some way, shape, or form.
Okay, so I agree with that. And whenever we started talking about doing this episode, I was like, all lies are bad. You cannot tell a lie. And I really, really try hard to be a truth teller. But after listening to that podcast and listening to that episode, I kind of was like, do I really need to live my life on the whiteboard? Do I need to like draw it all out for everyone? Like, it doesn't make me a bad person if somebody says, how you doing? And I'm like, great. How are you?
Right. Because that is essentially a lie.
If I'm not great that day.
Great.
Yeah. Yeah.
But see, that's a huge misconception that I think we're even teaching our kids. Lying is bad. If you're a liar, you're a bad person.
Right.
But how are we all bad people if every single person on the planet lies?
Yeah.
And we all lie at varying degrees. It's not that every single person is a pathological liar that is doing something to manipulate or to hurt somebody with their untruths. But sometimes we're doing it to pacify somebody. Sometimes we just need to get it. I mean, there's a gazillion reasons why people lie. And there's a gazillion different actual types of lies.
Right. I feel like most of the time it's like self-preservation in some way, shape, or form.
Lizard brain.
Yeah. I see what you did there.
Does she say it? From the get-go, we have all lied.
We really have.
To survive.
To survive. It is survival. In some ways, it is survival. All right. So why don't you start us off with like what some different types of lies are?
Sure. So, I mean, we've all been there when somebody makes a promise and is going to break it. I am super, super guilty of being a person that has a couple drinks with some girlfriends and they're like, we should all go to this concert together on Saturday. And I'm like, that sounds great. I know I'm not going in that moment.
Right. Drunk or not, you're like, yes, totally. It's going to be so good. Not going.
I'm not going to that. Absolutely not. So there are people that break a promise that don't intend to do it, but then do it.
Right.
And then there's also people that make a promise knowing damn well we're breaking that bitch. Get me a hammer.
Right. So then that's like a twofold lie, right? Because first, you know you're not going to do the thing. And then you probably lie about why you're not going to do the thing.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You're like, oh, my kid's sick. Sorry, can't go. Lie.
My kids have been sick so many times.
Yeah.
In fact, my son, my 18-year-old, I hope nobody listens to this podcast from his work. He just came out. Oh, God, I'm going to get in trouble for this one. He came out to the kitchen and I'm sitting there and he's like, Yeah, Mom. If anybody asks, Nana's sick in Pittsburgh, so I can't come into work today. I have to watch the dogs because you had to fly to Pittsburgh.
Okay, see, do you not have like this little like thing in you that's like if you lie about something, somebody's health or something that's not true, that it's like bad karma?
No.
You don't? I do. See, I cannot say that like someone is sick if they aren't. I can't say like somebody is injured or hurt or whatever. It has to be like some form of the truth.
No, I don't really have that. That's like for me, thinking that I have control over the Steelers winning a football game. Like, I don't believe that I am powerful enough to make bad shit happen, or good shit for that matter.
Really?
Yeah. And so whenever I like throw off or when he throws off Nana's sick in Pittsburgh, you had to fly there, I gotta watch the dogs, I'm like, okay. Don't post anything to social media this weekend. Check.
Yeah, I feel like if I were in that situation, one, I would probably try not to lie about getting out of work. When I was 18, I totally did. But I probably would have said something along the lines of like, my mom had an emergency out of town and I have to watch the dogs. Mm-hmm. Like I would never put it on someone's health. I'm like way too superstitious about that.
Yeah.
Because I'd be like, oh no, then if something happens to my mom, it's my fault.
See, and I wouldn't feel that way. And not in like a mean thing. It's just like, I don't think that I have that much power. I'm not like a wizard that's like, ooh, you know, like, and now you're sick. Whoa.
All right. So we hit broken promise.
Yes.
Another one just being like straight up bold face lie.
Straight up bold face lie. And these like, I don't like, for me, this takes some balls from people.
Well, is the like my Nana is sick and my mom, is that not a bold-faced lie? That's a bold-faced lie.
I guess that is. They intertwine with each other for sure.
That's a total lie.
For sure. But there are some people that will just like stand up and they'll be like, so did you know that my cousin's Britney Spears?
Oh, right.
And like maybe they have a Britney in their life, but maybe it's even a Britney Spears, but it's not the Britney Spears.
Right. So they're going to like bait you with it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So right now, and I just saw this story. Fuck, I wish I could remember who it was. I want to say, who's the actor? I don't know who it is. Anyways, there is an actor, like a famous actor, and he has a doppelganger in Ireland, I think it is. I kind of want to say it's Paul Rudd, but I'll fact check that later. And this guy goes out and tells everybody he's Paul fucking Rudd. Yes, and he gets endless ass over it by telling people that he is this actor. I'm saying Paul Rudd for funsies. It's probably not him. It's probably somebody else. But he like goes out and just gets ass by telling people that he is this guy.
Okay, so my brain is going in so many places. I'm like,
wait.
Does he have an accent?
I mean, probably.
And does he do a good American one? Like,
probably.
Do you think that he tries to do what we did at the beginning of this episode, American style?
It's very, very possible, but also consider the fact that he is in a bar.
Right.
So, I mean, when it's a closing time...
I mean, you're going with Paul Rudd.
Could you believe I slept with Paul Rudd?
People are ballsy.
I know.
Super ballsy.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely a bold-faced lie.
That's a bold-faced lie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely is.
Done to manipulate.
Yes.
To get some punani.
To get some punani. Get the putang.
Yeah.
All right. So what about like rumors?
See, rumors, they're terrible. And I mean, honestly, you could have good rumors and you could have bad rumors. But fabricating a story about somebody could potentially damage their life.
Totally.
Like if you're talking about a teacher and you start the rumor that this teacher has slept with a student, that's like, there goes their teaching license, there goes their job, there goes their family, there goes their livelihood. Like, everything is out the door. You've completely fucking ruined this person
Right.
over a fabrication.
Right. Right. I think a lot of that also might go on social media, kind of like starting rumors and spreading them about people. And then when you hear it, because like, you know, especially our like generation, I feel like when the internet started, the internet was like fact.
Oh, yeah. You couldn't put lies on the internet.
You could not put lies on the internet. If it was
George Washington told us that you cannot lie on the internet.
That's right. And so like if you found it on the internet, it was real.
Mm-hmm.
But now, I mean, you have to fact check everything. But when it starts and I heard this, did you hear? Did you hear? Did you hear? Did you hear? Then things go all the way around and there's been zero credibility to it, but everybody knows it. And somebody's life or some person is harmed in the process.
I'll tell you one right now.
Do it.
Marilyn Manson removed his ribs.
Yeah, I remember that. So he could
suck his dick.
My dick.
Back to Paul Rudd.
My just gonna put your dicks in. Like,
you do really good with that, by the way.
oh, it's such like I don't quote movies ever, but that part of the movie is freaking hilarious.
It is
so funny.
But that is a rumor that has started. Now, I don't think that like damaged his reputation or anything.
Definitely not. If anything, I think it made him more famous.
Yeah. Okay, here's another one.
Okay.
Richard Gere.
Don't know it.
Love affair of gerbils. You don't remember the rumor that Richard Gere was caught with 2 gerbils up his anus?
I do not. This is bringing up some other memories. Like, I don't remember exactly what the story was, but I do remember something along my childhood being like a toilet paper roll and like a flame and some gerbils. And like, if you would light the flame on the other side, that they would run the opposite direction up your ass.
Just ram your ass.
Remember why or how I heard that, but that did bring up that memory. I think I was probably in high school when I heard that.
We hear a lot of shit in high school.
Totally. That could be a lie. That could be the truth. I have not experimented to find out on my own.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like that is another fabrication. Richard Gere will have to live with that being on the internet forever.
Was that internet times?
Yeah.
It was? Okay, I don't
maybe
remember.
like the beginning of internet times.
Okay.
I don't know. But regardless, it's out there.
It's out there.
And could you imagine having to deny to the world that you
did
put
not
gerbils up your booty hole?
That you did not put a gerbil at your booty hole.
Yeah.
I mean, that would suck.
That would suck.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's just more fabrication, more rumors. So I do think that you need to be careful about things like that. Like, there's a difference between lying about yourself and lying about other people. When you're starting rumor, and people do it all the time.
Yeah.
To, advance their status or diminish somebody else's.
Right.
There's so many reasons. And it's like, God, and for the most part, you trust what people say.
Right.
And so when somebody comes over to you and they're like, oh my God, did you hear that Michael was just busted touching a little boy in the closet? And you're like, what? And immediately you're like, fuck that dude, hate that guy.
Right.
Like, he's done. But what they don't tell you is that Michael was helping his son who had an accident, and he was in private and he was wiping his booty in the closet so that he wasn't embarrassed.
Right.
There's always so much more to a story.
Right.
Or it's a complete fabrication.
So what comes to my mind is like, is there a developmental stage in life in which lying naturally occurs as a human? Or do you think children learn to lie from their parents?
I'm not sure if children... I think that because it's a protection mechanism that we do it.
Yeah.
I think that the extent of it can be learned as well. But I do think that I saw some data that said that by the time you're 4 years old, you know when you're lying.
Oh, interesting.
And you do it to protect yourself. So like a kid doesn't want to get busted for sneaking the candy and eating it upstairs. So they lie about it.
Right.
Or, you know, like I spilled something on the carpet. I don't want to get in trouble for it.
Yeah.
I'm going to lie about it.
Yeah.
So I think that as the protection thing, that kids do that. But then the extent of it, whenever, like, for example, telling Joe made Kai lie about his age to get on a ride.
Right.
We get up there and he says the wrong age. And I'm like, you're 8. And he's like, I'm 7. You're 8. He doesn't know his birthday. He's 8.
He doesn't know his birthday. He's 8.
He just turned 8.
So I've tried to do that to like get my kids in the same group for something because they're 2 years apart. So if my little one wants to be in the group with Shay, I'll just say she's a year older, you know? However, my daughter, my older one, she cannot.
She is a truth teller.
Well, to the outside world, she'll lie to me, of course.
Yeah.
You know, and like in the house,
And
I
the
didn't
kids'
hit her. I swear I didn't hit her. Meanwhile, she's got like a handprint on her back
That fits hers perfectly.
Totally. But like, if I'm like, we're just going to say Jordan's 6 and she's 5. She's like, Mom, we're going to get trouble. Like
The police are coming. She's having a meltdown.
Cannot. If I'm like, Shay, just sit in the front seat. No, I can't. I'm going to get it. She will lose. She cannot break a rule.
She's a rule follower.
She's a rule follower. That's what it is.
Maybe that's
and
a
so
better word than truth teller. She's a rule follower.
Total rule follower. So she cannot tell a lie to like skirt something. It would break everything in her.
Oh, boy.
I know. It's not fun.
What about an exaggeration?
So, yeah, I think everybody exaggerates. And I think that there's like some permissible area in there, but depending on the level of exaggeration that you're doing,
Yeah.
I feel like that could really turn into like a pretty bold lie.
It could. Yeah. I think that a lot of these are very intertwined with each other, and you can start in one area and end up in another. I really try hard whenever I'm like thinking about an exaggeration. Like, oh my God, I was so tired today. I had like 9 cups of coffee. And then I'm like, the fuck you did, Dayna. You did not have 9 cups of coffee. You had 1.5 and then you threw the rest of it away because your body starts to shake.
So when you find yourself in the middle of an exaggeration, do you just think that and keep going?
No, I
or do you stop yourself and be like, well, I didn't really. I had 1.5.
I always stop myself. That's an exaggeration. I try hard to stop myself.
You stopped yourself.
Because I'm like, it sounds so dumb. I didn't have 9 cups of coffee. That's so stupid. What am I trying to accomplish by telling somebody that I had 9 cups of coffee?
Right.
Like,
right.
be on high alert. I might have a stroke. You know, like.
I think that like when you're being flamboyant in a story and you're telling something and it's like clearly over the top, people know that you're exaggerating.
Yeah.
It's implied that you're exaggerating. I don't really feel like that's a form of lying. I feel like that's just like being a fun storyteller. I don't really think that's lying. I think
Tell that to the cops.
well, I wouldn't exaggerate to the cops. I wouldn't be like, you know, there was a bee in my car, and so I thought I was going. I guess that wouldn't be an exaggeration.
No, that's a
whatever.
bold-faced
It's just
lie.
a bold-faced lie. I had to pee really bad. There was pee running down my leg, which is why I was speeding to get to the bathroom. Maybe that'd be an
As
exaggeration.
you're quietly pushing out some pee.
Just trying to dribble on myself a little just to make the exaggeration true. No, I think that if you're telling a story and it's clear that you're being funny and you're exaggerating and everybody's, you know, on a good laugh, it's a different story than if you're like, you know, maybe exaggerating about how much money you make. Or exaggerating about your status at work. So I think that exaggerations, like it kind of toes the line either way a little bit.
Well, I think exaggerations kind of go hand in hand with like those little white lies, right? That's what we like to call them, little white lies.
Or a fib.
A fib, a minor deception.
Right.
Something teeny tiny that you think isn't going to hurt anybody.
Right.
It's not there to hurt or manipulate, like, outright deception or omission. Oh God, we didn't even talk about
we didn't talk about lie of omission yet. Those ones are sneaky.
Those are one of my like Achilles heels. Like I hate. Am I using Achilles heel in the right way? Like that's something that drives me nuts. Is that the right term to use for that?
I think your Achilles heel is like the thing that like breaks you down. Like it's like your kryptonite. It's your Achilles heel.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go with it. Maybe I'm using the wrong word. Don't know. But lies with omission.
That's just so sneaky and self-preserving.
It is like, I feel like somebody is taking my choice away by not telling me the full truth.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's so disrespectful. Like if you and I respect each other, then I deserve the full story so that I can make a complete assessment to make a choice in whatever happens after that.
So you bring up a good point. I think that that lies really, like their impact really makes a difference when it depends on how close in relationship you are with somebody.
Ooh, yes.
So let's say the lady at the grocery store lies to me about what she's doing after work because we're making small talk.
Yeah.
It's not really a big deal.
You don't give a shit.
Right. If she's like looking forward to trick-or-treating and I'm like, oh yeah, can't wait.
Right.
Not really that big of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm talking to you, if I'm talking to a family member, my husband, a close friend, and I learn that they leave something out, something that was a pertinent detail of a story that would have impacted me in a certain way, the closeness in relationship has a direct link to like how big of a lie I feel it is.
Yes, because there's that vulnerability aspect and there's the people that you keep close that you're supposed to have trust with.
Right.
And when you find that somebody is lying to you, whether it's a bold-faced lie, a broken promise, a lie of omission, even like a little white lie, I'm like, why the fuck are you doing a little white lie to me? Like, I think you can just say it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, whenever you're that close with somebody, you expect a full truth.
So this is a good, I'll wait. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
I was going to say, this is a good time to bring up like why the difference in how men and women lie. Because I think that makes a big difference in relationship too, because my husband tells me he lies all the time about the dumbest shit. And I'm like, that makes no sense. Why would you lie about that?
Yeah.
But it's something I would never lie about. But it sounds like from what you say about Joe that it's more common for men to lie about similar dumb shit. Like, so the research says that men lie, what was it?
Men lie to inflate
themselves. That's right.
And women lie to either protect or to please
others.
Yes.
Right. So I'm not like talking to my husband and like going to tell him a lie about what an awesome workout I had if I didn't work out.
Yeah.
That just makes no sense to me. Right. I'm like, well, why would I lie to you about that? I did something I didn't do.
And in the meantime, Dave's like, whoo, that sweat that I had today.
It's a big one.
I had 680 calories in 32 minutes.
I did 1,000 push-ups today, honey. I'm like, the fuck you did.
Well, it's that joke on TV shows where a woman walks into the room and a guy is like doing a bench press and he's like, 91,
760.
92.
Yeah.
And we're like, we don't give a shit.
Right. So it's meant to inflate selves. So I feel like men lie about how good they did on something, their status, anything to
what
make
6 inches is.
We're having a lot of inappropriate talk today, Dayna. We're talking about gerbils. We're talking about penises.
I'm going to have to cut some of this.
Or none of it. But yeah, I feel like while a man is like saying something to make himself appear better in some form or fashion,
Yeah.
a woman, on the other hand, is lying to like because they don't want to hurt somebody's feelings, or because they want to protect the family from something, or because they want to make somebody feel good.
See, and if I am lying, most of the time it's because I'm trying to protect somebody's feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, does this taste good?
Yeah, like somebody makes something, you're like, oh, that's good,
That's
thanks.
so-
I'm gonna
it's so
need you have to
delicious.
send me the recipe. I
And-
don't want the recipe.
Joe is not like that at all. In fact, I remember going to Thanksgiving at his mom's house, and his mom was like, how was the turkey? And he was like, it was so dry this year. Like, I was
you say you love it.
I don't care if that turkey dehydrated you to your bones. You say, thank you. It was delicious. Thank you for taking the time to cook it.
For 18 hours.
But he would have made a joke about that. Like, of course it was dry. She cooked it for fucking 18 hours. But then he said to me, well, no, she likes it whenever I tell her the truth.
Do you think that's true?
No.
No.
I think he likes it to tell the truth.
Tell the truth. Yeah. Do you like when people tell you the truth?
It depends. And there are definite times where I will look at him and be like, I need your honest opinion here.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are also times where I'm like, listen, I asked him one time, God, this man. I said, do I look wrinkly under this eye? Or do I look wrinkly under my eyes? And he got close to my face, inspected, and then pointed and went, maybe under that eye. And I was like, lie.
This is a time where I wanted you to lie.
Please lie to me.
I layered on all my products. I did my makeup just right. I was looking for you to just inflate me a little.
to tell me, baby, you're beautiful. I don't know what you're talking about. Can't see a thing. You are blind in this moment.
Yes.
He inspected my face to tell me the God's honest truth about how my eyes looked.
So, okay, what about the idea of like, if you don't want the honest answer, don't ask the question?
Yeah, but see, that's not how people work in general.
I must be odd. Well, it only took me 40 years to figure that out. I feel like I don't ask those questions. I'm not like, babe, what about, do you see these wrinkles on my forehead? Like, I see them. I have eyeballs. I know what they look like.
You're like, I don't need him to reinforce
I don't need
it.
him to remind me that they're there.
But what about, like, make you feel better about them? Like,
Nope, don't care.
no, okay.
No. I might be like, hey, which one of these do you think looks better? And then
Mhm.
he'll tell me and I'll do the opposite. But that's probably about as far as I go.
See, that's another thing that my daughter does, but that's for another day. So let's get into reasons that why do people lie?
Okay.
We kind of already touched on one with the kids. Protecting oneself
Mm-hmm.
is a huge one. Like, I don't want to get in trouble.
Right. Avoiding getting in trouble is a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, why is this girl texting your phone?
I don't know.
What girl?
I don't know.
Yeah.
What phone?
Yeah, I don't have a phone. I don't know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's to protect oneself, although that one is a bold-faced lie. I don't think that one really goes under protection. Do you think?
Well, they're trying to protect themselves from getting in trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, my daughter will literally write on the wall and I'll be like, standing in front of me,
Mm-hmm.
Jordan, why did you write on the wall? I didn't.
Yeah.
I'm like, it was standing right here. I watched it. I did not write on the wall.
Jessica, why did you carve your name into this dresser?
I didn't. But like, really, I didn't. This bitch did. She carved in my name into the dresser.
I wonder why I did that.
Because you hated me.
I don't think that was the reason.
You were like, this little bitch came in.
Can I tell you why I think I did it?
Yeah, please. After all these years.
I think because your name was longer. Like, I
Like you wanted to call, like you couldn't do Dayna Renee Christina. That's way longer.
I don't know. Or maybe, here's my other theory, is that I liked your name more. Because I've always hated Dayna.
Really?
Oh my God, I hate my name.
I always wanted to be Danielle.
Yeah, you almost were.
Almost. I was also almost Angela.
Oh.
Yeah, more than
Interesting.
Danielle. I was almost Angela.
I did not know about the Angela. I was always Dayna.
Always.
And don't get me wrong. I feel like I fit my name now, but growing up, I always wanted to be like something with 3 syllables.
like Jessica.
Jessica. It just flows off the tongue. It's pretty to write. It has 2 S's.
You must be really upset about Jessica Presley then.
It is a great name.
It sure is. So many S's.
So I feel like I have a daughter and her name is Jocelyn. 1, 2, 3. See what I did there?
I think all kids, though, kind of want to change their name at some point.
Oh.
Jordan tells me all the time her name is like Isabella or Luciana or...
Jocelyn was Savannah for a while.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll call you whatever you want.
Yeah,
I
whatever
don't
you
care.
want. I'll call it. Whatever your name is today. It's fine. All right, back on track. So another reason why people would lie would be to avoid embarrassment.
Okay, like who farted? Not me. Yeah.
Was the dog?
Did you shit in that stall?
Nope.
Nope, sure didn't.
That wasn't me.
Yeah. Or you didn't know that so and so was the 25th president of the United States? Of course I did.
Did you see that movie?
Yeah.
Like awesome.
10 times. But don't ask me any details about it.
So I'm going to need to Google it really quickly.
Real quick, I'm going to need the Cliff's Notes.
Yeah. Well, that brings me to another one to fit in.
That's another huge one that people do it to fit in all the time or to impress. Again, with men, that's like their big thing is they want to impress, inflate, something great happened to them. They're number 1 in their company or
Right.
they bench press 385 pounds.
Yeah.
Or
Very impressive.
yes.
Right. So what about like the bullshitter?
Ooh.
Like the one that'll just like talk to you with all the confidence, look at you dead in your eye, come up with some random ass shit that you feel like is very impressive information. And it is all total bullshit.
Or it's just like their perception of something that they thought in their head made sense and they want to spew it to the universe.
As fact. Right.
Dude, I actually have a person in my life like this.
It's just total bullshitter.
I have to change his name. We're going John Smith.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
John Smith will come over and he will just tell you something that is a little unbelievable, but still kind of believable.
Like kind of like a wow. Like one of those. Okay.
And you're like, oh, really? And then his wife will be like, nah, I'm Googling that.
She'll totally call him out.
Calls him out. And we ended up calling them John Smith facts because he does it so often. He'll just tell you something that he is convincing you is truth.
Mm-hmm.
And so now every time he opens his mouth, I'm like, is this a John Smith fact?
I love that it's like out in the open though, and like it can be talked about because then it's like you're calling him on his bullshit.
Totally calling him on his bullshit tendencies. It doesn't stop him though, because his outtake is basically like, well, I don't know, it could be true. And it's so dangerous.
So dangerous. So dangerous. So the only way I think to like stop the bullshitter is to like out bullshit them.
Oh, I love to out bullshit a bullshitter.
I mean, I oftentimes lack the creativity and wit to be able to do that. But you're quite witty, so I feel like you'd be good at it. So when do you think it's like okay to lie?
That's a good question.
Do you think it's okay to lie to the dentist when they ask you if you how often you floss?
Yes. They already know you're lying. I also think it's okay to an extent, unless you have some serious health stuff going on. That
sounded so loud in my headphones.
I apologize for that belch. That was like the throatiest belch.
Pardoname.
Oh my God. If you're at the doctor and they say, how often does your child eat fatty foods a week? And I'm like, well, they had pizza 3 times this week, but I'm going to tell you once.
Yeah. Yeah, I lie on that. Or what about the form where they're like, they do like the blank? I have blank drinks per blank.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, do you want to know week or
I know. I'm like
day or
2 to 4 per week?
Yeah. Does that sound healthy?
Yeah. Is that allowable?
Is that going to get me in trouble or is that okay?
Right, right. Or what about when a police officer asks you, do you know how fast you were going?
Absolutely not, officer. I don't have a heads-up display showing me my exact speed at any given moment.
I'm pretty sure I was going 2 to 5 miles above the speed limit.
Which is perfectly acceptable.
Yep.
And they're like, you were doing 70 and a 35.
Okay. Do you think it's okay to lie to a partner about how much money you're spending?
Okay. Is it your own money or is it money that you have together?
I don't know. I guess that would depend on like how families break up their finances.
Right.
But I would say either, I don't know. I don't know. I don't separate my finances from my husband. And so for me, that's like a non-qualifying question.
Yeah. I don't ever. I'm like, oh, hey, I'm going to do this thing. Like I just said to Joe yesterday, like I have to make a Sephora order. It's going to be a biggie. I need all the creams. Like I am out of everything. And those are typically, a big order.
Right.
And so I don't lie about it. I'm like, he's going to see it anyways. So what's the point in lying? But there are people out there that will be like, they lie about getting Botox to their partners.
Mm-hmm.
They won't say like, they're like, I'm aging gracefully.
Right. Why do you think they do that?
I don't know.
Do you think it's because their partner doesn't like it or doesn't want them to spend the money on it or because they want them to believe that they are just aging more gracefully than they are?
I think that there is a lot of control. Like I do know a person that is like, I would never let my wife do that. And I would be like, yeah, but it's her body. Do you really get that choice?
Right, right.
If your wife says she's getting it or she's doing it, then that's her choice. You don't really get a hand in that. But he like claimed ownership over her whenever they got married.
Well, that's another episode.
Yeah. And I don't subscribe to that at all.
No. All right. So when is it not okay to lie?
I think that if the lie is going to negatively affect another person, if it's going to take that person's choice away, because you don't know what somebody else is thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you think that you are omitting something and that it doesn't really matter, but you're really taking that person's choice away to make an informed decision.
True.
And I don't love that.
Right. I actually had somebody lie to me once about their age. What do you think about lying about your age?
Oh, is this that guy you dated? I feel like we talked about this before.
We may have. Because when you say in general, like, do you think it's okay to lie about your age? You might say yes. But then when you're talking about in context of like being in relationship with somebody, then my answer would change.
Right. I don't think it's okay to lie about your age. Like, what's the point of lying about your age?
Some people lie about their age on like employment forms because there's like, it's more attractive if you're younger.
Yeah, but then you're going to show up with your passport so that you can fill out your work forms and they're going to be like,
they're going to find out anyway.
1945.
I thought you looked a little elderly.
You look great. So, I mean, and people do that all the time too. They lie on their work forms to get
like
ahead.
a resume or something. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and no, I don't think that lying about your age in particular it's not a good look on you.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I don't think that lying in general is I'm like, how do I word this? I think that if people felt more confident in themselves.
Well, that's a statistic that I read also, was that a lot of times lies come from low self-esteem.
Yes, and self-worth.
Mm-hmm.
So people generally are trying to boost their self-esteem, boost their self-worth. But if you know inside yourself that none of the things that you said that made these people adore you is true, at the end of the day, it's just going to spiral. And
Right. What's it really doing for you?
yeah. Wouldn't you rather be loved and adored for the person that you are rather than saying, I can bench press 400 pounds when, like nobody really cares. That's not a deciding factor in if whether or not I'm going to love you.
Right.
So I feel like I do think that there are times that it is okay to lie, though.
I feel like we almost need a different word for like the lying when it's okay versus lying when it's not, because it feels a little different. I feel
one is
like
very deceptive and dark.
yeah, lying just feels like, oh, you're a liar. Like that's such a bad title to take. I remember mom always saying when we were little, there's two people I hate in this world. That's a liar and a thief.
Really?
Do you remember her saying that?
No, but
Oh
that
my
sounds like it
gosh.
came right out of Dad's mouth.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, they were simpatico on that one thing.
On that one thing.
But it was like, gosh, if you were a liar, you were a horrible person. But everybody lies. We're all liars. So we're all horrible people. But it's like, whose scale are we looking at to determine what lies are permissible and what lies make you a horrible person?
So whenever I saw that whole thing that says that 60% of people can't go 10 minutes in a conversation without lying, I really had to like stop and think in my own day, like, am I lying? Like, I was so curious if there was like a time that I was like maybe telling a little white lie, get the kids to eat their vegetables or something.
Right.
And for me today, I only did one day so far because that's all the prep work that I've done so far. And I didn't see it. But I do challenge you to be extra aware of the words that you're saying and how much truth is actually in them. And then if you find yourself telling a little lie, maybe asking yourself like, okay, I noticed that I just did this thing. Why did I do it?
Like, what was the motivation? You're having like a little personal tally.
Yes. Did I do it because I was trying to spare this person's feelings? Did I do it because I don't want to go to your kid's birthday party, but I'll hurt your feelings again if I say I don't want to go to your fucking kid's birthday party?
Right. So another area that we didn't touch on, which I think is pretty important, is that like as parents, we lie to our children all the time.
Non-stop.
We tell our children, like, talk about projecting. We tell our children constantly that don't lie to me. That's not the truth. You better be telling me the truth. But like, I tell them that there's Santa Claus and a tooth fairy, and like, don't eat this much sugar because it's bad for you. But then they go
Your
to
teeth
bed
will
and
fall
I
out.
gorge, and I'm like eating all of the treats.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait till they go to bed. I'm getting those cookies.
Oh my gosh. I used to tell the kids that if they didn't wear their seatbelts, I'd go to jail.
Oh, I tell my kids that.
I use jail a lot for things. I'm like, well, I mean, if you don't do this, if you don't follow these rules and we get busted, mommy goes to jail. I mean, mommy probably gets a ticket, but she's not going to jail.
Right. I tried to do that with my my rule follower, and it really backfired.
Oh no.
Yes, because now I have to remind her when we do things that she feels like are not the rules. I have to tell her, I have lived 40 years on this planet and have made enough right decisions to keep me out of jail. I have never been to jail once.
Not a single
Not
time.
a single time have I been to jail. And I don't plan on going to jail now. So I'm not going to ask you to do something that's going to put you in jail. One of the examples is opening a package in the store and allowing her to eat from the box before we pay for it. She is like, absolutely. She will not have a bite. She will not have one. She's like, no, you have to pay for it first.
See, I don't love to do any of that stuff. I'm a pretty solid rule follower.
I mean, is that a rule? Like you can't eat it before you pay for it?
Well, Mom used to like take the grapes and eat the grapes. So I got to make sure that they taste good.
Oh,
that
like
they're,
taste one?
like sour or they're sweet, not sour, whatever it was. My husband likes to skirt the line on a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always like, whoa, like it drives me crazy. He will try and like get away with things with the kids. If we're going to the movies, like taking stuff in, or if we're,
Oh, yeah.
he's just like always skirting the line, and it makes me so uncomfortable.
Yeah. You're like, Shay, I'm going to go to jail.
Adult Shay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes me so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to.
I don't wanna do it.
Because if you get busted, it's embarrassing.
Yeah. And then you're going to lie about why you did it.
Yeah.
I know.
The whole situation is just, no, thank you.
No bueno. Another one that we talked about was social media.
I think a lot of people maybe not lie on social media. Some people do, for sure. Embellish. I think that's a good one. Omit. I think is another one.
Mm-hmm.
When you and I were talking earlier, you made a reference to like going to the pumpkin patch with your kid, and you take this beautiful picture of your whole family in front of all the pumpkins, and you're laughing and everything's fun. But nobody saw that you just threatened your kid that if they didn't fucking say cheese,
Everybody say Halloween.
You just got into a fight with your husband because he tried to put an extra pumpkin in his pocket or something. I don't know what your husband does. And, everybody is frustrated. It's hot outside. You got hay in your ass from the hayride.
Yes, that's the worst.
So you're not showing all of that. So
Right.
to the outside world, it looks like you had a perfect day at the pumpkin patch with your family.
Right. And I mean, I guess that's what like a lot of social media is. And, there's even people who will like go to the extreme opposite to show you like the real reality of life too.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's great in a humorous kind of way to say like, there are these polarizing sides. Like, yes, this is what the picture looked like, but let me tell you what led up to the picture. You know?
And you got one good picture out of 72.
Exactly. But that's the one you post.
Hell yes. Hell yes.
The one that everybody looked their best in, and the one that everybody will assume that you had the most fabulous pumpkin patching day of your life.
Highlight reel.
Exactly.
And that's what it all is. I know that we're like super going long on this episode, but I do think that we should talk a little bit about how you can tell when somebody is lying to you. Do you ever notice somebody, like the way they're talking or their mannerisms or anything? Do you have a bullshit detector?
Totally. So it depends. My husband can't lie to me about anything. I always know when he's lying. It's like his face, his lip, he tweaks a certain way. Like I always know when he's lying. And maybe like my intuition might kick in a little bit with like the average person if they're saying something, but I don't feel like I have like a super great bullshit meter. Like I don't think that I could like, or reader, I guess. I don't think that I can like really like if John Smith was giving John Smith facts, I would probably like eat up everyone. I'd be like, whoa.
See, I feel like I have a pretty good bullshit detector.
Mm-hmm.
Because I pick up on a lot of cues. When somebody is over explaining something,
Usually
I'm like,
a lie.
Mm-hmm. You could have told me that in 10 words. Why did you tell me that in 100?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't need you to do that. Like, to me, that's sending up red flags.
Right.
So I don't know. I do that a lot. I'm always like, are you though?
So do you have any other things that like you notice or that pop up whenever you think someone's lying?
A lot of people get kind of fidgety.
Oh.
Another one that I saw, and I'm going to check people now whenever they're talking to me. They look at the exit or the clock. And I didn't know that this is like an actual thing that like cops will use.
Really?
When they're trying to get the truth, they will like, because there's a clock in the room. And if somebody is lying to you, they want to get out of the situation sooner. So they are constantly looking at the door or the clock.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to have to check that one out.
Yeah. So one of the takeaways I did take from the We Can Do Hard Things podcast episode on lying was that there's like this little way to kind of encourage people to tell you the truth or get them not to lie to you. And that would be when you ask someone a question.
I'm sorry, I just thought of another one.
Oh, go ahead. What?
When somebody gets aggressive.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever
or like defensive.
When you are talking to somebody and you are asking them and they automatically get defensive, they be lying.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Lying.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I think that's a good one because that's one that I feel like instantly you want to call someone out. You're like, why are you getting so defensive?
Yeah, I just asked you a question.
Yeah,
all you have to, if you're answering truthfully, you don't have to have so much anger behind it. Oh, what? Oh, you're mad because I asked you that question? That doesn't make sense.
Dead giveaway.
Yeah. If I'm not doing anything wrong and you come over to me and you say, hey, did you do this thing? And I would be like, no. What? You crazy.
You crazy. You so crazy.
But if I'm like, what the fuck? Why would you even accuse me of that? I can't believe you would even think I would do such a thing. That means I'm lying.
Yeah, that means that you definitely did do the thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Pay attention.
Pay attention, people. The signs are there.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the ways that you can get someone to not lie to you or tell you the truth would be in conversation for you before you ask somebody the question to say, let's say, I'm going to say, Dayna, I have to ask you a question.
Okay.
And I'm just really asking that you are not going to lie to me.
I can do that.
But I need you to tell me, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to tell you the truth. Like I need you to just say the words. Whatever you ask me, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to tell you the truth.
Not going to lie to you, matey.
Let's try that again.
Deflection.
Yeah. Let's try that again. I need you to tell me.
Probably lie.
I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to tell you the truth.
You know what? I am not going to lie to you. I will tell you the truth.
Okay. How many drinks a week do you have?
Let's see here.
You can count in bottles if you prefer. Anyway, that's the way to do it. You want to ask somebody to verbally say, I will not lie to you. I'm going to tell you the truth. And that reduces the likelihood that they would lie to you. I don't know if I'm recalling the fact correctly, but I believe it was like 40%.
Well, if it's 40%, then I will be of the 60%. And I have like one drink a week.
Me too.
It's right here.
This one.
This is the one that I have weekly.
That she did not refill at all before we started.
Did not.
This was a fun episode.
This was a fun episode. And I think that we really need to redefine what lying or that lying is bad. I think that we need to redefine that lying is just bad all the time. And that maybe giving ourselves a little compassion whenever we do find ourselves in a situation where we might be lying to spare somebody's feelings or and sitting with it, really acknowledging it, and then really asking ourselves, why did I feel the need that I couldn't be completely truthful in this situation?
Yeah. And I think that that's like a part of doing the work. If you're a person that's on the path of self-discovery, self-awareness, understanding, yourself, your traumas, the reasons that you do things, how to improve as a person. That's a question you want to ask yourself when you notice that comes up is like, all right, what was my motivation in doing that? What was I trying to accomplish by doing this? And ask yourself if that feels okay with you.
And also recognizing that not everybody deserves your truth.
Oh, 100%. That's such a good point to end on. Not everybody deserves your truth. You have to trust somebody before you're vulnerable enough to give them your full truth.
Yes. If the cashier says, "How's your day?" and you say, "Great," then just let it be great. Not everybody deserves your truth. They have to earn your truth. You have to feel that you trust people, that you're vulnerable with them, that there's the exchange of vulnerability between you. If you have a surface level relationship, let it be surface level, and you don't have to dive into every detail of something just because there's a relationship there.
Exactly. And the person that you're talking to, their character, who they are, also comes into play. If you're talking to somebody who you know is out to get you or who you know has bad intentions, you don't give them the depths of your truth and the depths of your soul. That is a way to protect yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thanks for letting us take our breaks this month. We definitely took advantage of mental health breaks this month.
We did. It was good, though. We needed it. We appreciate you guys being patient and still hanging in there with us. And until next time,
we're unbadding, baby.
UnBadding. UnBadding. We're unbadding, baby. We're on a journey, baby. We're unbadding, baby. We're unbadding.